This is our single El Presidente from the Barnets. And it's interesting going back now to think about the origins of the song.
We started working on El Presidente in May 2020, 2 months into the pandemic. And I think it's fair to say that if it wasn't for the pandemic, this band and this album probably wouldn't exist, because those various lockdowns gave us the time to be able to do this project. And the songwriting process is kind of the same for each one. One of us comes up with an idea. In this case, it was Duels. Came up with a lovely nylon string piece. And he sent it to me, and that got the ball rolling.
Yeah, we started off with this kind of riff. I sent it to James, and it was kind
of... This is the original demo idea. It was titled Nobody's Daughter, which is not an idea we followed. I think that was just something to call the email, recorded on his iPhone. But it's a really nice piece, nice lamenting Spanish guitar. So I was probably thinking at this point, how do I mess it up?
Like a lot of the songs on this album, this first album that we've done, it's been like piecing together a jigsaw puzzle, because we're displaced geographically. We're on different continents, and the ideas come together in a piecemeal way, sometimes, not all the time.
This is like a typical Facebook group chat. Just hundreds, if not thousands, of voice notes and ideas and feedback. And our thing is, nothing's precious. No one ever sticks to their guns about an idea. If it's something that everyone doesn't agree on, it just doesn't work out in the song, and that rarely ever happened on these songs. So there's a lot of back and forth, and then the building process begins.
Yeah, the first verse starts out, it's like 3 separate sections in the first verse, 3 different melodies, slightly different variations on the melody, and then it hits the kind of up-tempo section. What's it like? It's like a trip-hop, is it? Beat? Is it?
It's a trip hop.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's trip-hop beat.
Crawling on the knees again. Maybe start to call me a friend. Texting for some lemonade.
Which is inspired by the Roots.
And I love Questlove, and I just listened to that groove and said, right, I want to get inside that kind of feeling. Also in a kind of a Massive Attack way. I was thinking about Massive Attack. So I'm really happy with that how that turned out. And not to be too Spinal Tap about it, I have the snare drum that I used here. And on that trip-hop section, and for all the drummers out there, I gotta hold it up to this shot. It's a little shallow drum, and I tuned it really tight, like a piccolo. You can even hear it resonating with my voice. Just tuned it real tight for that snappy groove, and really pleased with how that came out.
So my whole thing for recording the guitar parts on this one was that I didn't want to make something that we could ever reproduce live the same way. So I think for the most part, we succeeded in that. Came up with a couple of nice guitar parts, flipped them in reverse, threw a filter on there. And the layout is a little bit unusual too. There's no set chorus, and I don't know if that was intentional or not. You'll probably have to ask Duels about that.
Oh, I love the fact that it doesn't have a chorus.
It was a flow of ideas, but it came together in chunks. So it wasn't like we sat down and wrote the song in one effort.
That was, that's why it's kind of multi-layered, and it's kind of, but it takes in that whole feeling around that time and what was going on, and kind of the fear everyone had, and it was just So it's just kind of social commentary, I guess.
Things were happening in the world that we were all aware of. Everybody out there, how could you not be? And it informed the direction that the song eventually took.
And as for the lyrics, Dools is the songwriter, the storyteller in this band. You'll have to ask him, but I don't think you're going to get much out of him.
In terms of lyrics, like, it's quite a layered kind of subject, different kind of subject matters, but it's all kind of, I don't want to overly analyze them because it just cheapens the kind of vibe, but yeah, I think it's down to interpretation as well, but you know, some of them are quite self-explanatory.
But it definitely was influenced by the politics of the I suppose you could call it the peak of Trump's time in office, when things really went from bad to worse, and there was a lot of civil unrest and a lot of trouble over the police brutality and the killing of George Floyd. So a lot of that fed into the mood of the last section of this song.
What on earth has happened here? I've been away for 1,000 years.
Well, this was the first song written was Ballad of a Dead Man, and this was the second song we wrote, and it is it the flagship? I don't know, maybe. I think it's a good mix between what we're writing now and what we started out with, and the journey we're on now. It kind of brings all the different elements in, different styles.
I feel when I listen to it that it has something to say, and I'm really proud of that fact. I'm really proud that it has musically something to say, and in terms of its feeling, it has something to say.
The process of writing and recording this album throughout the past year has kept us literally sane. I can't think of a better way to have spent months at a time been locked up and just processing everything that's been going on. And now we have something that we think is very special and something that we're very proud of.
I think that the video does a really good job also in not being too literal, but making the feeling, giving some more feeling. I was there for the first part of the shoot, which was in the Watergate Theatre in Kilkenny City, and we had a really talented Brendan Corcoran, an amazing performance from him. We had a professional makeup artist, Bear Drennan. She did a tremendous job. And then we had the production skills of Barefoot.
And the other main character is played by Sean Hackett. Fantastic performances by the two lads. We also shot out in Jenkinstown Woods. We had a big crew out in the forest.
So it has a lot of darkness and gravitas to it, but also Brendan has he has a lot of comedy in how he can put something across. It can be dark comedy, but I think that really serves it well. Malevolent comedy.
It's I love it. It's probably one of my favourite tracks on the album. It I can still listen to it, which is a good thing.
Well, now the fun begins, when the single drops. It's just a matter of getting it out there to as many people as possible. A true grassroots effort. And so far so good.
If you've got to the end of watching this video, thanks a million. And we'll be back soon with the album, of which we're immensely proud. It's a debut album for the Barnets, and we hope that you get to listen to it and enjoy it, and that you get something from it. Thanks a lot.